kwankwasiya a waya ne.
Network ne na kowa kan jigon ƙasa ta.
Kwankwasiya a waya ne, network ne na kowa, ku zo ku ji manufar.
Hajiya Aisha Ahmad Kaita, I would like you to start with your brief history politically, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bashir. Like you said, my name is Hajiya Aisha Ahmad Kaita. I started my political career since year 2002 with the incoming of the political aspirations of General Muhammadu Buhari as of then. And then I had an NGO that was called Concerned Citizens of Nigeria for Good Governance. I was the president of that NGO. It was a national NGO, and we named it Concerned Citizens for Buhari 2003. But it actually started 2002 as. But people normally misunderstand and think that Buhari came into office 2003. No, he got the ticket in 2003, but the actual politicking started in 2002 April. I could remember 27th April, and from there, as the national president of the NGO, he endorsed my NGO among all the NGOs in the country, and we normally go on rallies with him. And then we came the 2003 elections, which we won. As of then, that was my belief, and that was my trust in him as a person, as a candidate. And I followed him for almost like 15 years of my career in politics. I was the national woman leader of the Buhari organization, and then in 2007, I became the director of presidential campaign when he got the ticket for the whole country, presidential campaign women. I was the director of campaign at that time in 2007, and eventually we realized there was a huge issue between the Buhari organization and the ANPP as a party, and we in the Buhari organization as of then we are convinced that the ANPP were trying to sabotage his effort, so we created a party called CPC, if you could remember. And in CPC, I was the national woman leader of the caretaker, at the same time holding the position of the zonal woman leader caretaker Northwest, because it was just a caretaker thing, so there was no much protocols at that as of then. We went for Congress, and I ran for the zonal woman leader because we wanted outsider from the north. The president was from the north. The national woman leader should not come from the north, because we wanted to give the party something like, yes, a balancing, a national look actually. So we got Barrister Sharon, who is right now a minister, I believe, in the present. We got her, myself, and Barrister Joy, because we were the only ones, women, that we are struggling with Buhari all this while. Even though I was actually the first woman that supported him all along, and then Joy came into the picture later on, and then we looked for another person that can represent, because Sharon wanted to run for an office that is different from a national woman leader office. And as of then, I remember she ran for the national chairmanship of the party, which she couldn't get, but she came second. So we got Sharon unopposed, and we just a week before the convention actually, and we endorsed her, and she became the national woman leader of the CPC, while I was the zonal woman leader of the Northwest. Then 2 years later, Tinubu brought a proposal. Actually, the proposal was there since 2009, but we were not very confident as of then whether to trust the Yorubas or not, so we rejected his offer. But eventually we realized that General Buhari needs a broader spectrum of people around him to be able to be the president. So we the inner caucus of the Buhari organization, myself, Buba Galadima, Alexisile Hamma, and the rest of us actually, so we agreed for a merger. And we started talks with him, and just between the CPC, and the SEN as of then. Later on, the people from the ANPP, that's the Shekaro aspect of the ANPP, joined the merger, and eventually Rochas came through the AFGA as of the southern part of the country, but the rest of the Afghan refused to join in. So Rochas in particular, he himself as the governor as of then of Imo State, joined us in the APC, and then we came and lobbied for KWANKWASO to join us because he was a strong force to reckon with even as of then, even though he was not the president. Mr. Jonathan was the president as of then. So we lobbied for KWANKWASO to come along, and he came along, alhamdulillah, and joined the party, and it became an extremely formidable party, and we won the elections. But within the process of these years, I came to realize a lot about my presidential candidate, that's Mr. General Muhammad Buhari, the present president now, and I was not fully satisfied with his certain aspect of his attitude and unflexibility and so many other things, and I decided I could not continue to support somebody that I do not have trust anymore on, and the truth is I don't trust him anymore. So I decided to join KWANKWASO and support KWANKWASO for a presidential candidate because of the principles I looked into deeply, and I investigated a lot about Senator KWANKWASO as of then. He was the governor, and I found out that exactly this is the kind of man I want to support for Nigeria, because he is the one that I believe will be able to, salvage the country.
Have you ever contested on any seats politically?
Yeah, I have been contesting, but all my positions were party positions, because I'm the kind of person that believes in an individual. I believe that if the head of a family is good, the rest of the family will be well behaved. So I believe if we could get a good presidential candidate, someone with good principles, with an ideology that can be able to salvage the country, because this country has been in the doldrums for years, for decades actually. So my belief always politically is to support somebody that can be able to save this nation, because I am a Nigerian. I feel for my country. I'm very patriotic. I am part of the grassroots, and I have gone to a public school, just like I believe all of these big guys have gone to the public school as of then, because in the 70s and 80s there were no private schools per se like we do have it now. Yeah. So there was good governance, and the Nigerians are beneficiaries of that kind of good governance. So because of that, I wanted to make sure that eventually we go back to what we used to be, a good country with good leaders that give us good governance to the citizens. So the best thing to do was to support a candidate more than a party. Who is the candidate that will be able to imbibe those principles that we have in the olden days that can be able to save this country? Because an advanced country is a nation that everybody, is comfortable, is happy, and the country, the whole world is, there is this, now we are in the new millennium, so there is a lot of advancement, and we shouldn't be left behind, even though we are in Africa. But even in Africa, we can reach out and be one of the very best.
Exactly.
That is it. So that is why I supported General Buhari as of then. Yeah. Yes. So my ambition was more towards my nation than an elective position and executive position, either to go for reps or to go for Senate. That is not the issue, because that is an individual thing. For me, politics is not an individual thing. Politics is about the country. Politics is about the nation. Politics is about the kids that are going to grow up and find a better country, a country they should be proud of. So it's not about me going to Senate, because I, as a single senator, I can't change the nation. But if we get a good president, he can turn every other thing around: education, health, whatever, security, whatever you can think of, industry. Because he, when the worst comes to the worst in a nation, a president has a veto power to impose whatever he wants to impose, especially if the policies are good. So the most important thing for a nation is the presidential candidate.
Thank you very much, ma'am. KWANKWASO Awareness Network as a political NGO is formed purposely to support engineer Dr. Rabi Musa KWANKWASO. For his political ambition, can you shed more light on the activities of KWANKWASO Awareness Network, better known as K.A.N? As you did mention earlier on, you met KWANKWASO during your political pursuance with General Muhammad Buhari.
Yes.
Then.
Actually, for KWANKWASO Awareness Network, for me, I think it's one of the best NGOs we have in the country, for the simple fact that their activities, if you look at the activities, is so impressive. They reach out to the grassroots, and they give out, like, for example, they print exercise books and give it to the school children. And you know, an educated nation is an advanced nation. So this kind of gestures that the K.A.N does in the not only in Kano but all over, it's very impressive. That's one. Secondly, not because I support KWANKWASO, but the truth of the matter is, right now in the whole of this country, we don't have a figure that can really be a president that will salvage this country more than Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. And this group are the group that really wants to bring out his qualities, to show the people, to, you know, like these interviews that you carry out to people, it's like trying to, you know, bring out people's opinion, so that the other people that don't know who KWANKWASO is, they will be able to know. This is really hard work. And one of the things I applaud the NGO is, you know, it's full of youths.
Exactly.
And once they are, you know, if somebody is young, his mind is fresh, and he has ideas, and he's up to date, because it's a growing. So for that alone, I think this NGO is kudos to the NGO actually.
Thank you very much, Ma. As you did mention some qualities, I know you made KWANKWASO Engineer Senator Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso way back in time, like 20 years ago. Can you shed more light on the qualities of Engineer Senator Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso?
No, actually, I did not meet him 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was with the present president. Okay. As the national woman leader of BARR organization. I met him when I was contesting for the zonal woman leader of the APC. Because when we created the APC, after the caretaker committee and everything, we went for Congress. We went for a national Congress, and I contested for the zonal woman leader of the Northwest. And that is when he was pointed out to me. And already by that time, I already had some misgivings about the present president that we had.
That was 17 years ago.
Just about 2015. Okay. You understand? That is when KWANKWASO was still a governor by then. And you know, I already had some misgivings, and I was not very comfortable. But at the end of the day, I asked for, you know, I told you earlier I wanted to leave Buhari, but I needed a better candidate, somebody that can be able to deliver. So I investigated among all the ones that we have, and I found out that KWANKWASO was the best among them. So I decided to support him. That is when I met him. And in the process of trying to discover who KWANKWASO was, I was told so many things that later I came to discover. Like, for instance, let me give you an example. He used to say that I want to implant a star in each and every household. How do you implant a star? A star is in the sky. It's something that shines around the world and gives the world a light. A light for sustenance. Then how does he do that? So I discovered that it was more of a statement, in the sense that it's more it's not literal, it's not liberal, it's literal, in the sense that he wants to educate one single human being from each household, so that that person, once he's well educated, he has a good job, he can be able to take care of the rest of the siblings, the mother, the father, the everything. Already that person becomes a star.
Exactly.
So if you see the kind of ideology that he has, and that star is going to be implanted in a poor man's house, somebody that cannot be able, because the country is so bad, the situation is so inept, that at the end of the day, we don't have good educational system in the country. So the poor people, the grassroots people, like us, all of us, we went to a public school, but unfortunately right now, people that came from a background like me cannot go to a public school, cannot go to a private school, because they cannot afford it. So this is a man that says, okay, if you cannot afford it, I am there to help you to afford it, so that you can take your child to school. This is the kind of president Nigeria needs. This is just one out of many things that he does that I'm so impressed with. And another thing is he sells his own personal property to make sure that he educates people. An educated nation, like I said earlier, is an advanced nation. There is no way a nation will progress and advance without good education. And the education is supposed to go to the youths, because the youths, every country, the youth is the future of that country. So the youth are the future of Nigeria. Those people he's educating are the future leaders of this country that can be able to save the country even after we are gone.
Ma, what advice or encouragement will you give to KWANKWASO Awareness Network, popularly known as K.A.N?
Well, you see, like I said earlier, they are going in the right direction actually. and alhamdulillah for that. We are proud of you guys and all that, but you need to, we have only 2 years in the making to make the whole of this country, especially the southern part of the country. Already in the northern part of the country, everybody knows that there is no candidate like Kwankwaso. The grassroots love him, and if he will be able to secure the primary ticket, definitely we are going to win the elections all over in the northern part of the country. Now the job here is two. Number one job is to make sure that the delegates understand that who is Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the kind of qualities he has, because these delegates are from the grassroots and they want good leadership. But the problem we have is normally the delegates are intertwined with their leaders. So these leaders should put aside any other thing and want the betterment of this country. If they do that, they instruct these delegates to vote for Kwankwaso in the primaries. And once we get the primary ticket, the next thing that you guys should be able to do is make sure that you give interviews, especially in English, because the southern part of the country do not understand Hausa. The candidate is a Hausa man. He is already accepted in Hausa land. What we need is for him to get wide acceptance, 100% acceptance in the wider coverage in the southern part of the country, so that they can understand. With this kind of interviews from people like me, from other people who know him even better than myself, and from his antecedents when he was a governor and when he was a minister and when he was a senator, the things that he has done for the masses, for the grassroots, the love he has for the country. These are responsibilities on you guys to go and let people know. People, our brothers and our sisters that live in the southern part of the country, because everybody wants good governance. Everybody is just fed up with this lousy APC governing ruling they are doing, and all the anti-corruption campaign that is false, that is not true. There is corruption all over the country. There is a lot of kidnapping. There is killings all over. So what's the difference between the killings and the kidnappings and the Boko Haram? Basically, is for me, I think it's a worse scenario than what it was before the APC came into picture, into this thing. So right now, what we need is, we need a hero. We seriously need a hero, a man that can sacrifice anything for the good of this nation, and that man is Senator Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso.
Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you.
We are really grateful for your kind gesture.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sako na kata fariyar kungiya ne na miko, Kwankwasiya a wireless network kun ji sako. Kwankwasiya kan da kasanmu ita ce ta leko, a ƙarƙashin shugabancin Kwamar da Awwal Muhammad. Tafiyar Kwankwasiya ba za mu ki da kawaya ba,